Hello everybody, hope that you are doing very well and welcome to this evening's cryptocurrency technical analysis video. As you can tell by the title of this video, which is called the best stream of your life, I truly believe by the end of this one you will be saying, wow, I'm not going to forget this one. You are not going to forget this one. It will last with you for a very long time, maybe your life. This will be a lifelong stream to remember. So yeah, we're starting off the stream with some big words here. But we got big actions to back them up, so it's all good. Obviously, yeah, here we are on Bitcoin, nearly 10% up on the day. Altcoins, I think tonight I'll talk a bit about Bitcoin, a bit about altcoins, what we can be expecting next. Okay, obviously, recently, of course, we've been following primarily DOT, we've been following Tezos, we've been following Solana. Obviously, there's a little bit of talk about Cardano and Ethereum. But yeah, no, maybe if we have time, we'll go through more of the altcoins towards the end. But obviously, primary focus today is on Bitcoin. 1st of October today, 2021, for if you're watching this in a few years' time back. Obviously, a really big start to the month. Obviously, September was known as the big bearish month. Obviously, in the overall, it wasn't that bearish. We actually just pulled back to support and got another bounce. But you know, the months ahead, I think what we will do tonight is I actually, like normal, have a bit of a plan for this one. I'm going to be starting off with a bit of an introduction, talking you through this past bit of price action, why, to educate you and so you can learn from this. Then we'll be moving on to really what's going to be happening next. So we'll be looking at the next levels where we can be looking for Bitcoin to push towards, and that's obviously to aid you for the next trades coming up. And then we can look potentially at some altcoins and have a bit of a discussion together. For the people that are wondering, this title is not clickbait. It is not a clickbait title. It truly is going to be the best stream you've ever seen. So all I can say is get out a margarita, get out a gin and tonic, or get out a lovely bit of, if you're like me, a pint of water, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go. I see out the corner of my eyes a lot of people saying, what's the ES? I will answer that one very quickly before we begin. The ES is the S&P Futures Minis. So this is just basically they're basically the S&P 500, but the mini contracts, and this is obviously your futures. I just see like 100 questions saying, what is the S&P? What's the ES? The ES is basically the S&P 500 mini futures contract. But anyway, we're going to focus about Bitcoin in today's video. And I want to talk you through, obviously, before we get on to what's happening now and what we're looking for next, I want to talk you through briefly for about 5-10 minutes what's actually happened in this section of the chart. Okay, the levels that we drop down to in terms of our support, which are still very big support levels to be aware of. Okay, and then how we could have gauged the reaction off of this, what we need to think about in terms of patience, trading high probability trades, and at the end of the day, execution. Okay, so I hope that sounds interesting. So obviously, I'm going to briefly talk you through very quickly what happened on this drop, as hopefully you can all remember from that high to the low. In the end, obviously, we did slightly front run the CC on this move, and that was because we bashed off of a prior daily level. Okay, so it's like one of these things that you have to bear in mind. I know a lot of the time, this is just speaking from experience, if you do have a level in the chart that lots and lots of people are waiting for, okay, you might want to write this down. So this is some alpha right here. You might want to write this down. If everybody is waiting for a level, one of two things generally happen. Option number one, the level is front run. Okay, so the level gets front run, e.g. the level is not hit. Or option number two, the level is blasted. The level is blasted straight through. Okay, and this was one of these kind of like obvious levels, no? And so if everybody's looking at the CC to short at that moment in time, you have to think it's either going to do one of two things. If it's a very obvious level, it either gets blasted straight through or it gets front run. Obviously, in this example, it did get front run. And that's just something that you have to bear in mind. There are more levels than just the CC, yeah? Obviously, we teach hundreds of different things that you can be looking at. In the end, obviously, we're bouncing off, rejecting from daily levels of resistance, coming up into, obviously, your point of controls. It did, obviously, give you that move to the downside. And it was like one of these things. This was obviously really rejected on Sunday going into Monday, Tuesday, putting in the lows down here. it was one of these things that you're at when you're up at the high of what is the most highly probable trade. Okay, so it's always about probabilities. Is it more probable that it smashed to the upside and went above $50,000, or is it more probable that it drops to the downside? This is always what you got to be thinking about to yourself. And, I think I made this fairly obvious even on Twitter for free. The 22nd of September was a date I was very much aware of and have been very much aware of actually since the start of August. So over 1 month, I've been telling people 22nd of September, be aware of what happens on the 22nd of September. I think I made this obvious. For me, the 22nd was an important date. Okay. And obviously what I'm starting to think about at the time, while we're up at around that CC level, I'm recognizing what I'm thinking to myself. I personally think the most highest probability is that we are going to get a drop. I was liking to see the drop. Obviously, this was during Victor's live stream on Sunday. I'm just getting you through my thought process. I'm thinking to myself, I think the highest probability is a drop to the downside. Why? So we can put in a pivot on and around that 22nd of September, a nice low. And also the fact we had much more resting liquidity below us. Yeah, Bitcoin moves in a way. Basically, it always searches for liquidity. It's always going to be searching. Essentially, you can view it like this in a bit of a dumbed down version, but it's essentially looking to wreck the most amount of people, the majority of the time. Okay, and that's why you get these such big moves to the downside very quickly, big moves to the upside very quickly. It essentially, once it gets that first bit of momentum, you are liquidating a bunch of traders to the downside, over leveraged longs. Then like here, you get over leveraged shorts, you get liquidation runs very quickly. Bitcoin moves very quick. Once it gets that initial bit of momentum, sometimes that can take a week to begin. Sometimes it can take 2 months to begin. But when it does get that initial break with momentum, the moves actually happen really, really quickly. But you have to think to yourself at times like this, like what is the highest probabilities? And you can see here, just for another example, this is what I posted again. This was on Sunday during the Champions live stream from Victor. My thought processes made it very obvious even onto the public on Twitter. I'm really looking for a drop below $40,000 and also for the alts to dump down. Okay, that was on Sunday. And this is what I posted in my group. I'm really looking for this ultimately to come back below $40,000. Obviously, at the time, I was personally on holiday. And so I was very, very patient to just wait for below 40K. Why? Because that's my plan. My plan is going to be wait for a drop. And if I don't get the drop, I would have simply taken no trade. If I was incorrect and Bitcoin had have risen and smashed through the CC, hey, I just would have missed the move. Yeah, I would have missed the move. And that is part of trading. You do have to accept when you're wrong. But luckily, I was right. And we did, obviously, go below $40,000. You might be thinking to yourself now, why did we bounce where we bounced? What was the reason that you were looking for this? And this was a hilarious comment. When Dan posts this later on Twitter, you will know. Here we are. Here we are. Exactly as predicted. But we obviously, to be serious though, we did get that move below $40,000. And here's another bit of really good alpha for you. The level that we actually bounced off of was an extremely high volume level. Yeah, a level such as this is pretty rare. You actually had the original naked weekly point of control, followed by another weekly point of control, followed by another naked weekly point of control. So you basically have 3 weeks worth of point of controls, all at about that. We were obviously highlighting support between $39,700 and $39,500. Obviously, it bottomed out at about $39,520-ish. So this was highlighted prior as a very, very big level of support, even while we were up at and trading around, trading around that $50,000. And then it's a matter of waiting, yeah? So I just wanted you to get into my mind. I truly want people to understand, the thought processes behind this. So it all comes down to a moment of time of thinking to yourself, what's the highest probability, or what are you going to trade? At the end of the day, you need to think to yourself, what do you think is the most probable? And then you need to make a plan for that highest probability. So if I'm thinking, I think the highest probability is to the downside, I need to make a plan of levels that I will long to the downside. And I also need to have a plan, obviously, for if I'm wrong and price hadn't have dropped. For me, that was breaking above $50,000. I would have said, yeah, I'm wrong on this. And obviously, I have to make a plan for the downside. And that is, if we do drop, like I wanted to see, what am I looking for? And obviously, that is coming out around just below that $40,000. And if you were in the champions group, This one was from a while ago, 8th of August. So, you're seeing, over a month of having to be patient, but we finally got the level that we were aware of at that 39,800 zone. This was a trade of the week from, about a month ago. So it required great patience. This in the end obviously moved up to about $50,000 before it came crashing down to support. But crashing down to support, it eventually did come. And it all become down to, having the plan, being ready, being prepared, and then taking the trade. Really simply taking that trade. And obviously the icing on the cake of this one, we were aware of the 22nd. We were definitely aware of the 22nd of September, and this is the magic. And you see here, that's the timestamp on the 22nd of September. As you can see, there's our timestamp, and as you can actually see on this, the low was put in as you clocked over to the 22nd of September. The actual low itself, the 11 o'clock, the 21st, you got the retest of the CC at the very start during the initial balance of the 22nd of September. That was the overall low of the move. And obviously from there, we put in our descending triangle. And obviously this is another one that we have to approach with a 50-50 probabilities at the time. Obviously, we were looking at this as the descending triangle. We had our low, our high, our low, our high, our low at the time. This was obviously the last public video that we made, or I made. And if we add back on that triangle to really show what it looked like here, we obviously had this going on. So we had basically our descending triangle, and we were approaching this neutrally. So a lot of people will view it as descending triangle and think that means it has to break to the downside. And that is, in my opinion, the wrong way to look at this. You can approach this triangle with a 50-50% probability. If it breaks to the downside, look to trade it down. No? If it breaks to the upside, look to trade it to the upside. So you have to be prepared for always symmetrical, ascending, descending triangles. Be prepared to trade them either way. You have to be prepared for both sides of the market. Obviously, in the end, this did break to the upside. And as we will see now together, the way that we get our targets for this is we can take it from the low of our triangle up to, let's use the measuring tool, the low of our triangle down up to the high of the triangle. And then once you get the breakout of this, you can obviously look for your targets of the breakout. As we can see, the measured move of this triangle has pretty much timed the top of this currently. And you have some confluence with this. With being a CC Fibonacci level, and we take that from the high of the original impulse to the downside to that low that was obviously put in at 39, just below 39k, just below 40k, and we can see that we're getting some confluence up and around these zones now, which is obviously very important. I'm just going to need to remove that horizontal line because it's blocking the low of the wick. And there we go, put it to the below of the actual wick, and you can see we are coming into that CC. And surprise, even if we come down here on on a lower one hour time frame, we actually got the breakout of that triangle. We back tested resistance into support, and we obviously got the move to the upside. And so this is the thing where it comes down to, you can have a bearish bias during this time, but if you truly trade the charts and you truly react to what is happening, the only thing that you could have thought, this broke out of the triangle, it back tested the triangle resistance as support. You have to think to yourself, whatever your bias is, the highest probability is a move to the upside. We had reclaimed all point of controls of the triangle, and we had actually broken out on nice open interest. The open interest was very bullish, and we had back tested with a bullish wick, and we got another back test early in the morning. So you have to think, if you're truly trading the charts, you have to think to yourself, the highest probability, of course, is to the upside, because that's basically what the charts are telling you. Okay, so that's where it all comes down to. Make a plan, trade the plan. Okay, and now that moves us on to what's happening now. So I hope I've educated you well enough to explain, in what we've been going on in 15 minutes. Obviously, I would like to do this in 1 hour, 15 minutes, but in the amount of time that I'm given here, I hope I've talked you through well enough why we rejected from where we did. Pretty much because we had the magic lines of rejection. basically. And we did reject down. Why did we bounce off where we bounced? Because we had a massive, massive, massive support at about 39,500, which I'd been ready and waiting for, for over a month, waiting for that support level to buy. So when it happens, you got to buy. And then obviously we put in our triangle, we put in our triangle, we put in our triangle, we broke the triangle to the upside, we back tested the triangle, and we got another move to the upside. Okay, so off of these last pivots on the chart, I'll even show you actually this pivot while we're at it. Why not? Why did we reject off of this pivot? Okay, well, hopefully you can all remember. This was obviously our front run. Why did you reject off of this pivot? I hope that you can all remember. This one was not a front run, and this was obviously off of the overall CC. Okay, so sometimes you come out into it perfectly. Sometimes you get the front run with your other levels of resistance. And it really is obviously a game of probabilities. There's no 100% guarantees, but sometimes you just got to think to yourself, what's the highest probability? Or not necessarily what's the highest probability, or what's your plan of trading? Yeah, what's your plan of trading? So yeah, that's all the pivots explained that you can see on the chart. And obviously that brings us up to where we are now then. So if we just delete this and we delete this, okay, well, actually, it's kind of nice. All we can see is coming up right now is we are into the last pivot major high that we put in to that last major pivot low that we've put in. We are right up into that CC Fibonacci level, okay? We can also see here, right at the top of that CC, we also have a daily coming in at $48,293. Okay, if we come down, I need to check this out actually on the, so this is obviously Exo charts. We get this question all the time. This is Exo charts, but this is where you can look at the footprint software. So yeah, you see this, that move up today. So this move up early in the morning was basically a massive, massive liquidation run on the shorts. Lovely open interest coming into the break, but the break itself, obviously, yeah, pretty much you can just say is wrecking short trades. Yeah, so this move up, this is the thing with Bitcoin. These moves down are very, very quick. These moves up are very, very quick because basically people are getting massively liquidated. So you see, this is nearly a these two candles, this is a 579 million candle. This is a 489 million candle. So, you're seeing basically billion volume come in here in the space of 1 hour. And the majority of this is basically liquidations or people getting stopped out their trades. Okay, you can kind of see here the rec bubbles. Yeah, I mean, you can see on the open interest primarily. Yeah, you just look at the open interest. The open interest is a massive decline. So it was basically a lot of people getting wrecks, which is it's part of the game. Somebody has to lose money to make money. No, hopefully you were on the right side of this because, once you've broken out of the triangle and you've back tested it as support, there's really no reason to be holding on to shorts. Or just, in my opinion, there was really no need to short any of this rise to the upside, yeah, because if you look at the speed of it, even down here on a very low term time frame, yeah, if you trade a reaction and you've got nothing preset, you wouldn't have shorted any of this because it really simply went through, went like butter up to the 618. So yeah, that's that really. And then obviously bringing it up to where we are now, what I like to look for is like divergences. So if we come down here on a lower term time frame, you start to look for your divergences here. So let's see what we got going on. Right, you have no divergences. You have slight, very, very small divergences, but this is nothing really that massive at the moment. We have, let's see, this is, so I also like this template because this template just makes it very easy. So we have a lot of new positions opening. Oh, we're actually seeing longs and shorts open at the moment. So people getting aggressive on both sides of the market. So you're seeing a lot of people. This is kind of normal, I suppose. You've basically come up to resistance. This is a resistance. You have to remember that. So we have basically come up to resistance. We have started to form a range. So we've obviously got a low here and we've got a very well-defined high, which is obviously our Fibonacci level. So we've put in a high, we've put in a low. And within here, we are currently just range bound. Just like we can trade a normal range, if we break out of that range, we can look to the next level. If we break to the low of the range, we can look for our next level. But currently it is, of course, range bound. But what's happening in this range is you are seeing a lot of longs open, and you're also seeing a lot of shorts open. Yeah, crazy amount actually on both sides. You're seeing a lot of new positions open, so you're getting wouldn't surprise me to just see one of those like Darth Vader candles, you know, Darth Maul candles, where it just goes up, down, and wrecks everybody. But you can see here from the open interest and the net longs and net shorts, about 11 million longs to 23 million shorts, slightly more amount of shorts, but this data is not always to be trusted. Yeah, it's might be fairly. Yeah, obviously these are taken from rough estimates. The open interest is real, but the net shorts and net longs are obviously estimates. The main thing though is that we don't have any massive divergences here. The open interest is still looking good. So you might want to say to yourself, let's say that you are in like no position at all. Well, actually, I suppose what we could do, shall I do the how long have we been going on for? Yeah, 23 minutes. I told you all. This is going to be an amazing live stream, and you might be wondering what's happening in this live stream that is going to make this so amazing. I just thought to ourselves, how could we get this live stream to be the next level? How could we find the opinions or analysis of what's happening next? And I've just been thinking to myself, who would be the number one trader that we would go to and ask for what is happening next here on the Bitcoin chart? Who's thinking what I'm thinking? Smash the name in the comments. If we could ask one trader his opinion now, who would we ask? Apart from myself, who would be our next go-to guy? The guy who is Mr. Bitcoin. There we go. Dan is king, but that is not me. Igor. People know. I think we should try and get Igor on the stream. What do we think? A lot of people. Here we go. Everybody wants Igor. If you are new to the stream, it's time to learn who Igor is. Yeah, basically we got a lot of love coming in right now for the guy himself. So I think we're going to have to give this a go to get him on the stream. For the people that don't know who Igor is, obviously Igor is the legend that has done a lot of good calls. Let's just say that. This is his analysis from today, by the way, while we were trading lower in the day. This was obviously at 10 a.m. He gave the resistance of literally the absolute high of this move, by the way. He gave no prior levels and then actually gave the top of 47,900. Surprise, surprise, the guy's on fire right now, very active. But yeah, called out those levels earlier today. So intraday, he's absolutely, oh my God, the people are going mad for you. The people are going absolutely mad for Igor right now. But he has been today calling the levels absolute to the highs, so he's been giving the day trading levels in the group. He's been giving the scalp levels in the group. And also, the guy is the absolute legend because he obviously called the $62,000 short all the way down to the absolute low currently of 28,000. So the guy's calling highs and lows on a weekly term time frame and highs and lows on a 1 minute time frame. So the guy's an absolute beast. The guy's an absolute legend. He doesn't really need much of an introduction if you have been around here for a few months. Igor time, Igor sessions. Should we try and get him around? I think smash the likes right now. Smash the likes. Let's try and get him involved. Let's give him a quick call and see who is around here. La 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 la. Ring 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 ring. Hello. Are you there? Mr.
Oh,
Igor.
my days.
Hello, my friend. How's it going?
What have you done?
Mate, mate, the people love you. What can I say? The people love you, but with good reason. For good reason.
Wow. I was looking at the comments. That's a bit overwhelming.
There was a lot of people. Look at this. It's non-stop.
Honestly, I don't know what to say now.
There you go. This guy, Igor, is a legend. But yeah, obviously, I thought to myself, well, you're the guy. You are the main man at the moment. But obviously, well, we have some really special news. Should we do the special news first?
Go for it.
We'll do some special news, and the special news is, ladies and gentlemen, watching this stream. Obviously, Chart Champions, the #1 place to be right now for trading education. we have obviously been expanding our team. We actually have currently 23 employees. So it's quite we're expanding pretty nice, and we're trying to get in as much people as we can. We're forming the number one trading team in the world. And I can see people already know from the comments right now. But yeah, the time is right. The time we've been trying to get this, oh man, a long time. But Igor is a tricky dark guy to get. And we have finally achieved it. Igor is now, drum roll please, a coach at Chart Champions. Yes, he is officially
Hooray!
now. Let's do it like let's upgrade this role right now to Mr. Igor as a coach. There we go. There you go,
Drop
Igor.
mic.
So now the people know you are officially with us. I'm very happy. I am personally extremely happy. And I know I'm know for a fact everybody else is going to be. But yeah, well done, mate. Thank you for finally joining us.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you. That's I don't know what to say. Just looking at those
Mate, I'm
comments,
reading these comments and it's
I
absolutely
know
crazy.
I can't read them either. It's just going too fast. Wow. Now it's a long time coming, and now it's a pleasure to be here. And it's going to be amazing. This is just the beginning, and we chose a good day to start this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the many years to come. Coaching and helping people out. I think today I was a bit more lively on the general chat. I thought I'd stick around for a little bit today, just to kind of start to get to grips with it, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, but I did have a lot of messages, and I was like, "Wow!" So yeah, good taste to have
I think you're going to be a
for
busy
what's
man.
coming. Yeah, I think so
You're gonna be
too.
a busy man.
Yeah, I think so too. But the thing is, I do like it. So bring it on, and let's get the train rolling. So exciting, really exciting.
Quite started, mate.
Really exciting. But you know what? This is why I'm here. The reason why I'm here, it's because if anyone watching this stream goes back 25 minutes and watch that beginning part of you teaching or showing what's happened and all the levels, that is literally why I'm here. It's because you brought me here. Your analyses are way up there. You are ahead of the pack by a million miles, and you know what you're doing. And for me, it's very much like getting into your head, and get the hedge for me as well. And you see so many people that are not quite there yet and need the help, and for me, I thrive on helping others. So if you can give a little back to people, and make it will make your day better. So for me, it's giving back, and you are the reason. So thank you, and now let's give back.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're very, very humble. I mean, I think you're getting probably a better trader than me at the moment. So, like, yeah, you're absolutely killing it, mate. So, my hat tips off to you, sir. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like, the team is coming along. I mean, yeah, it's obviously fun. Obviously, for the people that don't know, obviously, I was with Igor last week. I mean, met his family, met his kids. They're all legends. So, like, yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on, mate.
Thank you. No, it was really good having you here too, and yeah, that's the first of many.
Yeah, man. Well,
because we're going to help a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. The comments are still going for you, mate.
I know. I know. I'm trying to keep an eye on it, but it's thank you everybody for all the comments and everything. And yeah, I'm here now to help you guys, and obviously I'm going to have fun myself doing my own stuff. But yeah, anything that you guys need, drop me a quick message, and I'll be happy to jump on and help you guys out and just shed some light. I'm not going to say buy here, sell there, because that's not what we do. I'll pretty much will just relay what I've learned from the master himself, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's good, mate. We also have Mike here. If Mike, are you with us?
A very good evening, you two. I am reporting here from my tin can, just for the special purpose of Igor, my friend. Welcome to the team.
Thank
I'm really,
you.
really happy that you're finally with us. So that's really, really great.
Thank you. Wow, this is a good intro. I like.
Let's
Do it. Send it.
do it. Yeah, let's do it. Send it sideways, I would say.
Yeah, send it sideways while we're on stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the people that don't know who's speaking, by the way, this is obviously Mike. Everybody should pretty much know you. But if you don't, this is Mike. Obviously, this is Igor. Maybe Victor can join us if he comes online, and we'll have to hold the coaches. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I was going to talk people through now, just briefly, what's happening in this range. Well, obviously, it is literally just a range right now. But do you have anything that you want to mention on the charts, or anything particular that you'd like to say? Either of you, really.
CC Pool send their regards.
CC Paul send their regards. But
Yeah, I'm really hyped also because tonight is kind of also really, it is really a special moment. And for me specifically, because Igor and me basically started learning on or around, I can't remember exactly, but we started out around the same time.
2018.
And
Yeah.
and fast forward, what is it, 2-3 years
3
later?
years.
Yeah, here we are, so it's from the beginning it has always been kind of the healthy competition kind of thing, taking the best out of each other and improving. And so yeah, I'm honestly really hyped for for this stream actually. So yeah, it's really great to have you here.
No, same here.
While we are at resistance currently, yeah, what do you think actually, Igor? What do you think? Shall we? Should I long or should I short?
Well, right now, you can't long right now. 100% you can't long. You have to long support and short resistance. We're at resistance. If you're not sure about shorting up here, you obviously you don't short, but you can't long up here. I mean, this is you've moved that bait 9% today, so you can't do it up here. However, this is resistance, and I've already scalped a couple of shorts up here today, but I had a reason for it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it does look like it's gonna push higher a little bit.
yeah, I guess what we could do, we have the potential, obviously, to put. Well, obviously, at the moment we got a range. If we break the high of this, we obviously can easily come up to this daily top of the CC. Wouldn't be a surprise. Also, we have to remember this oh yeah, so of course tonight the CME closes. So we'll obviously have our futures markets, CME, ES are going to be closing. So we can expect one of two things generally on the weekend, that you get a continued push to the upside during the weekend. Then you would open obviously with your CME gap, or of course the reverse of that, and you push to the downside and you open up with a CME gap. So it's very likely that we get a CME gap this weekend. We're obviously you have to always remember, everybody watching this, because I think this is probably one of like the hardest things for people to learn, maybe, and that is that people kind of, I really think, get either stuck in a bias. They either get stuck in a bias, or they do not know how to recognize like when you've claimed a level, like when is a resistance now support. Or I think these are the things that especially like newer traders really struggle with. So you have to remember, there's always something that you have to be thinking to yourself. Well, this is what I would kind of recommend as a tip. Let's say that you were really bearish within this triangle. Okay, once you see the break of the triangle in a back test, you have to lose that bias. You have to say, hey, let's say you thought it was going to break down. As soon as you see this, you have to say, hey, I'm incorrect. Look for a move to the upside. Let's say now that you're looking at the next resistance, the top of the CC and the daily. Yeah, while we are below this level, obviously this is resistance. But should you do something like this, break above the level, back test it and hold it as support, and you see good demand, the ways that you can kind of view demand, really good way is actually using open interest. You're looking at the open interest, looking at the delta. This is hence why we have the template. This is a good way of showing demand. If you break a level and you back test it, okay, what is demand? Demand is a lot of people buying, yeah? So if you break a level and then you're coming out of that level on really nice open interest, really nice delta, this is showing you the level has flipped into support and you must expect higher. So the same is the same way you would approach this now. One imagines that this region is obviously resistance. It's the top of the CC, it's the daily level, and also you have, these last prior highs. Okay, obviously you can look for this a little bit above, maybe view it as a box, because there's always the swing failure pattern type of trade. But what one has to say is, if you are to break this level, which is, of course, it's possible, and you are to come back and test it, and you start to see demand showing up, primarily obviously looking at the delta and the open interest of it, kind of get a glimpse into this, you have to think to yourself, okay, probabilities are a never-ending changing. The probabilities today of breaking a level are different than the probabilities tomorrow when we have 24 hours of new data. And that is why it is of utmost importance to learn yourself. Because what I think a lot of people struggle with is they will watch one of my videos, for example, or anyone's videos, let's be honest, anybody's video, and they will think what they say in that video is the same, they still think the same 24 hours later or 1 week later. And obviously that this is never the case in trading. The probabilities are always changing as new data comes in. And that is why it's so important to learn yourself, how to understand when things are changing. Because somebody can get really trapped. This is why signals groups don't work. Because if someone gives a signal of long here, look for here, it comes down to the level, and data is changing in the time, they might not take the trade. The guy that has no idea what he's doing takes the trade, loses the trade. The guy that done the signal says, hey, I didn't even take it because X, Y, and Z reason. Well, obviously, if you understand and learn it yourself, you're not going to be in that position. But anyway, I digress because this is totally off topic. All I'm saying is this is definitely resistance. This zone is definitely resistance. That's undeniable. But should we break this level and we start to see demand showing up above that level, then clearly that resistance can flip into support, and you look for another push to the upside, which is obviously, should be quite obvious, is $50,000 is a really, really big level. Really, really, I think 51, this is such a big level on the chart for me, because if we are to reclaim that big resistance as support, I would be looking for that big push up to around that $55,000. So that's a few $1,000s higher up in the chart. So it's like we will always say, like level to level trading. You're not necessarily looking for, you're not looking for $60,000 while we're below $50,000. Because what is the sense in trading for 60K while you're below 50K or while you're below 48K? It doesn't make sense if you wire your brain correctly to think in this way. You want to trade it from one level to the next level. See the reaction. If it rejects, why are you looking for the next level? You need to then look for the next level to the downside. So you're always prepared. Let's say right now, you're prepared for the next level of resistance, should we break? And you're aware of the next level of support to the downside, should we reject? So it's always a two-step game. You're never thinking, I'm only looking for longs, I'm only looking for shorts. No, you need to just be aware of the levels above you and below you, and then look for shorts above it. Doesn't mean you take the short. Look for shorts doesn't mean take a short, but you would look for shorts above you and you would look for longs below you. And that's the way that you would trade, obviously. You got your levels, trade the levels, make a plan, trade the plan, even if it takes over a month to come to your levels. This is the beauty of trading. Once you've done the hard work, once you've done the analysis, it can take a month. Or if it's like Igor's levels, this is going to take 2 months. But he had the level marked out months in advance where the low was put in on Bitcoin. Yeah, this is not random. This is not randomness in the market. The market can be read. The market can be predicted. Obviously, it does take great skill and hard work. But to recognize lows of this months in advance, and then for that actually to be the low to the absolute wick, well, that's where the money is. Yeah, that's where the money is in trading. But nevertheless, it still comes down to having that plan, marking out your levels, and then being patient. So whether you're up here on a weekly time frame or whether you're down here on a 5-minute time frame, the theory is still the same. Mark out the levels, be patient to wait for your levels. No?
Amen.
Amen.
100%. I think I saw a comment earlier about like somebody's here to learn something. This is the best stream. I can give a quick tip, and I think it's a really, really good one that helped me. And it's a journal. So what I mean by that is log your trades, because until I really started doing that, it was a bit hit and miss. And I think from then onwards, things were clearer because I had a proper plan before I even enter the trade. And I think that will just give you an edge, just by having a journal with a simple screenshot of what you're looking for, your invalidation, where's your entry, where's your stop loss, what's your reward, what's your risk, all that stuff. Just have that before you enter the trade, because that will set you far, far away from, the average trader. And that for me was the moment I was like, hang on a minute, this is, it's starting to make sense. Only then. Before then, and I know a lot of traders don't do that because it's, we just want to go quick, 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 quick. And it's a bit lazy to log the trades. But trust me, do it. So that's a really good tip I'll give you, because it helped me, and I still do them.
Yeah, man. No, I agree. Journaling is like a must. Lots of people don't bother to do it because it's hard work. But yeah, you definitely got to do it, and if you want to succeed, in my opinion. But yeah, it's obviously a very good tip. And then obviously the way that I saw some of the comments saying, so how do you get your levels? How do you know when to buy? How do you know when to sell? And obviously it all comes down to the technical analysis. So, here you can see some of the tools that you might use, such as you're looking at your volume profiles, looking at Elliott waves, looking at harmonic patterns, speed fans, pointer controls, higher term time frame levels, Fibonacci. This all is part of your overall plan. How you are getting your levels is by doing the technical analysis. Even things such as finding patterns. That's how you make your plans. So it's not like you don't just have your blank chart like this and be like, oh, I'm going to long here, I'm going to short here. No, that's just not going to work. You obviously have to do your technical analysis, because otherwise, if you just long and short somewhere with having no idea why you're longing or shorting, then how do you work out the probabilities? How do you work out targets? How do you work out invalidations? Well, of course, it's impossible. So that's why that's why you have to use the technical analysis, to work out such plans and such levels.
Exactly.
But
I mean, one of my favorites that I learned from you was just a simple daily level, weekly level, and monthly level. I mean, they're so powerful, especially when you combine them with a, CC retracement. Honestly, they're just so powerful. And then once that hits, say, on a higher time frame, basis, and you go down to a really small time frame, and know how to use delta, volume, open interest, CVD. I mean, you've got so many tools that will just set you way ahead of the pack. And for me, the simple horizontals just work very well. The other thing I really like, it's the merging of the ranges on TPO. I mean, they're just brilliant. And they got good success rate on those. But it comes with experience, to find the best range. Do you draw it from, this area to that area? Which one do you choose? So there's quite a few bits that you need to be aware, but yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see here what we could have. So obviously this came up to the CC and rejected. So obviously in terms of so again, this is a game where like a game of probabilities, and it's always finding the highest probability. So obviously when you reject from the CC here, obviously one of the options is always look for a potential Gartley, and that would be this. Move down, move back up. But you have to think to yourself, always you've got to think in terms of probabilities. So obviously at the time here, I was very, very bullish all the way from $29,000 to $52,000. Very bullish, wasn't that interested in shorts. I thought the highest probabilities are to the upside. But obviously when we rejected from the CC and lost it, I flip my bias, I flip the probabilities, and I think then it's more probable we go lower. Why? Because we've changed market structure, we've got trap longs, we've seen a clear rejection from a higher term time frame level, trade the charts. Obviously myself and Igor shorted literally the high, and Mike as well. You got to trade the charts and you look for the downside. And again, like when it comes to the harmonic, you could have been thinking to yourself, okay, the next highest probability is that we're coming all the way down to 36k. And again, that could have been the case. But again, you have to trade probabilities. So what would you say are changing the next probabilities? So you could say at the time while you're trading down here, personally, I obviously took my long at $39,550, and that was 100% told in the champions group that I am long from there. Even I think in the contenders stream I said it was long from there. But again, that was for a swing trade because I knew the potential of the swing trade, obviously from this idea. Take 40k, pump it. So I was aware of my swing trade, but I also knew if we drop down, where's the next level I'm looking for? And obviously if we had broke that descending triangle to the downside, I knew we had a daily, and then I knew we have about $36,000. But probabilities change. So where is this Gartley no longer the most probable? And of course, if you're trading the charts, it is when you break out. Okay, so when you get the breakouts of the triangle, you got to think to yourself, okay, the probabilities now are actually that we're pushing higher. For me, there was two steps. It was a reclaim of the triangle point of control. Okay, so when we were obviously trading within this, here, as soon as were trading here last night, I thought to myself, actually, it's very probable that we're going to be breaking up from here. Obviously, this point of control is actually adjusted. So if we bring it back, there you go. So this is what it was looking like on the breakout. And it's like, okay, we have broken back above the point of control. We've basically retested it. The highest probabilities now are to the upside. And so it's always this game of continuously changing, continuously adapting. And that is a really, really big skill that you have to learn to adapt to what the market's telling you. Listen to the market, yeah? At the end of the day, I will always say this. It doesn't really matter what anyone says. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. The only person that doesn't lie is the market. So what I mean by this is you just need to focus on what is the market telling you. Where is price trying to go? Is it doing a good job of getting there? Breaking above a point of control, backtesting it, seeing demand with, good open interest. That is the market telling you it wants to go higher. And the higher the market goes. Okay, but if you have an overriding bias of this needs to break down, needs to go lower, I'm going to hold on to my short. I'm going to short because it's bearish for whatever reason you might be able to magic up. People are very good at magicking up reasons. Oh, it's bearish because of this. It's bearish because of that. The market doesn't care what you think. The market doesn't care about anybody apart from itself. And so if you listen to the market with zero bias, which I understand is hard, you really should be able to be making profitable trades in terms of maybe there was no trade to be had here, or maybe you took a, maybe you saw the upcoming signs sort of thing. But at the end of the day, you just have to think to yourself, obviously now I'm speaking in hindsight, we obviously did break to the upside, but my words were the exact same in last night's Twitch live stream, which again was a free live stream. I think it's more probable that it will go up. Why? Because while we hold support, while we're breaking out of the triangles, while the open interest is nice, you have to think to yourself, it's more probable that we go up than down from here. And what would be a change? Well, of course, it would be losing support again. No? So it's the same here. Like bringing it back to the harmonic. You could have thought to yourself while you're trading at $40,000, yeah, there's a high probability of coming down again. But then once you reclaim some levels, once you start to get your breakouts, these probabilities are of course changing, and you then have to think to yourself, okay, now it's more probable that we go to the upside. And if you're able to react, and if you're able to bounce off of what the market's doing in a very seamless fashion, with not thinking to yourself, oh my god, just react to what's happening, in, out. Actually, you can take away a lot of money from the market. Yeah. And that's obviously that's your job in this market. Your job in this market is not necessarily to be right. Your job in this market is to make money, and you do not need to be right to make money. You have to think about that for a second. That's a bit of a riddle, but it's definitely true. You do not need to be right to make money in trading, and also you do not need to know where price is going to make money. You can be wrong, and you can not know what's going to happen, and you can still make money in this market. You've got to think about that carefully, but it is true. And again, it all comes down to that terms of trading. Okay, if you have two levels, you don't need to know if it's going up or down. You just need to know the next level you're going to buy and level you're going to sell. And it's as simple as that. Again, trading the triangle. You could have thought price was going to break to the downside, but price broke to the upside. If you recognize that you're wrong, you can make money on the following move, even if you're wrong on the original plan. No, so you don't need to know where price is going. and you don't need to be right, and you can still make money if you have a certain degree of skill and are able to adapt to what's happening in the market. And that's why it's so brilliant. That's why it's so fun. But
I think that's the key thing you just said now, isn't it?
But,
the fun. It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a computer game.
Yeah.
Literally. So I'm sure people are probably going to be thinking to themselves, okay, so I'll cover my opinion on the next levels. Obviously, I think I've kind of already done it briefly, but the next level to the upside is really, really obvious. Okay, it's of course the top of the CC, if we make it up this high. But the top of the CC is going to be on, in this confluence box with the top of the daily, and also around the top of these highs. We could basically say it. Top of it being 50k, but this is obviously your next resistance zone. Okay, and it always has to be viewed as a zone. Well, you're obviously in it now, right now, to be fair. The CC is, of course, you are at resistance. So all of this is resistance that you're at right now. So you have to think to yourself, if you're a swing trader, is now a good time to swing long? Well, in my opinion, no. When was the good time to swing long? Well, it was actually, of course, 39,500. This is not a good time to swing long because, from the original entry points, you're already up 20%. So it's like, you've got to think to yourself at times, if you're a swing trader, do you think it's a good time to swing trade along into resistance? And, no, that is, of course, in my opinion, not a good time to swing long. So this is obviously resistance. It's not a great time to look for longs. That does not mean we can't push higher. Just because I'm saying I wouldn't long here doesn't mean that we cannot just do this. Of course we can. But it just means I'm not interested in a swing long here because I literally have a swing long from the low of the move. So why would I long here? You got to just think like me a second. I would not long here. Why? Because I have a long from lower. Why? Because I long support. Why would I not long here? Because I don't long resistance. And at the moment, this is resistance. Again, if we reclaim it, then it's support. But currently, we're below it, so it is resistance. Again, probabilities change. Every day, every second we're alive, but currently this is clearly resistance. So if we can think to ourselves, okay, so this is resistance, we wouldn't look to long resistance, where would be an acceptable level of support to the downside? Well, again, we're going to have to draw up some levels. One most obvious thing to do is obviously draw your fib from this low to this high. That gives the CC of all the way down at their 42,600. You might be thinking to yourself, 42,600, that is quite a drop. Is it very likely that we're coming down that far? Well, this is the thing. You'll have to wait and see. One could say it's not that probable that we're just going to come all the way down here straight away. But nevertheless, if we are, this is the thing you've got to be planned for. Did I think that we would take 1 month to come down to this support and bounce? Well, no, not really. I didn't think it would take a month. But 1 month later, I was very happy I made the plan. So this is the thing, you've got to be prepared. So again, it might take a month to come down here, but we can acknowledge this is support. Again, I wouldn't say this is a high-term time frame support level. We're looking on a 30-minute chart. So this is obviously a day trading level. But we can start to build up areas of where we could think to ourselves, okay, this is a nice scalp trade. And again, if you watch the Contenders live stream on Wednesday, you have a scalp trading plan and you have a swing trading plan. So this would be for a scalp trader. We would start to look for our entries if we can build up enough confluence down at around this CC. We got a really nice high volume node here. We got the CC here. We will have in here. We will not have any harmonics. So unfortunately, we won't have a harmonic in there. We might have some of this coming in here. Again, this is a little bit, we do not obviously have a pivot here necessarily. So I would say this is not a confirmed pivot yet because we can obviously still push up higher. And that means these fans adjust. So that is something to bear in mind. We definitely do not have a confirmed pivot in here until we really get our market structure change. But should we get our market structure change now, then we obviously have a confirmed pivot. This is very, 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 what's the word? Subjective at the moment. I don't really think necessarily we have a pivot. But nevertheless, if we do, well, we can see we have coming around the 7.5, on and around the high volume node, on and around the CC, on and around these lows. So we're starting to think to ourselves, this is a very important support level, no? That's what I would be thinking to myself anyway. This is looking like a very important support level.
I agree.
Of course.
I've got a level that at 42,300. I like that one. So I'll have an alert there. for me.
Yeah, so that is basically around the low of the CC.
Yeah, I've got like a fixed range across on all those lows of the triangle, and it's coming in at 42,300. So that's a nice level to have written down somewhere.
Oh yeah, you also have the TPO point of control at 43k and a daily POC NPOC at 43k.
It's when you start building a plan.
Yeah.
So you're patient, and then
So again,
patience.
this is slightly higher, but you start yeah, it's all about like it's like building a jigsaw, and you
Mhm.
don't build the jigsaw in 1 minute. You have to put in a little bit of work, and you start to see these levels coming together or not.
Absolutely, but this is how when, for example, you do the Sunday live streams and you go through, a good hour of just looking for confluences, levels. I mean, it's 1 hour for a potential swing trade.
Exactly.
It's you got to put the work in, and yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any Igor sessions there, but
I've merged it all range, so I did it on a daily
did you do
merged.
that on Attis or Exo?
Atas.
At Attis, yeah. So
Yeah.
Igor is really good at Attis. I saw his templates, and they are really good.
I'll take a screenshot just quickly of just the level, and I'll put it on the chart, and then you can probably share it. But this is what I'm looking at right now, so people can probably somehow get into my head. I'll put it in Bitcoin charts. So it's actually a merge range of the triangle.
No, cool. Let me take a look.
Looking at the ones below.
Mate, a lot of hype in general chat for you, mate.
I know, I saw that. It's ridiculous.
Charts only.
And
Here we
can you
go.
guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can still
Yeah.
hear you, Mike.
There we go. Yeah, I was talking all the time, but it appears that my microphone was somehow not working. But hey, yeah, I think we just got ourselves a little swing Philly pattern, didn't we?
For 47 900.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally.
Yep, but and like this is the thing. The market is so dynamic. Let's say, like, if I would compare the market situation to, let's say, a year ago, you would have like these really heavy reactions, right? And basically instant reversal. Nowadays, it's more slow. You need to be much more patient. And actually, I would say you need. I would say the market has become smarter over the last 2 years. And what is the moral of why I'm saying this is that if you wanna survive as a trader, I would say you really need to learn to do it yourself and to adapt to these kind of changes and start noticing these changes in the market. Because if you would simply follow, I would say, let's say, somebody's signals or doing exactly what another person or what does or says what you should do, it might work for a while, but who says that it will continue working on? By the time that the markets changed, you would still be following that same system because you lack the experience, skill, and knowledge to adapt into that. Whereas that trader, maybe you've learned all of this from, already has adapted a long time ago and is still making money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen.
I mean that makes I don't know how much I want to talk about this, but obviously we got the CCV set up, and so I don't know how much you guys have been following in the chat, but obviously I've got the CCV version 2 now because the CCV I think no longer, in my opinion, it no longer really works, and so it's recognizing, hey, I think we kind of have like a trend. So we were basically the first people to do. We were like we were kind of like the trend starters, I think. So nobody was using the 80% rule. We kind of popularized it, and then everybody started using it,
Yeah.
and then it kind of becomes bad. And then it's like nobody was using TPO charts. We popularized it. Now everybody uses TPO. No one was using order flow. We use order flow. Now everybody's using order flow. So it's like we start the trends and everybody else is late to the party. And this is a little bit of alpha for you all. The 80% of CCV setup is no longer good, in my opinion. This was a brilliant setup when it was not as popular, and then it become very popular, and then loads of people started to use it. And honestly, this is not very good anymore. I don't use the CCV, but I have a CCV version 2. So it's recognizing, hey, people are waiting for these closes above the value areas. You kind of have to recognize, what if everybody's trying to trade off of this setup anymore, the setup isn't going to work. And so it's, like Mike is saying, you have to know what works now is not going to work in maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. At some point, the market changes. It's like, obviously, I've been trading 10 years. How I traded 5 years ago, how I traded 3 years ago is totally different than how I trade today. And how I trade in another 3 years, I think will be totally different than how I trade today, because it's recognizing the market is always changing. New people are entering, people are leaving, new institutions are coming in, especially Bitcoin. This asset is going to be totally different in 3 years. So you have to adapt with your technical analysis, with your tools, with the way you trade. Even things such as like the CC. I'm already testing new CC Fibonacci values because I recognize there's more edges to be had on this. Things like the CCV setup, I'm recognizing early, hey, this actually is a good setup. It was a good setup. Then I recognized, hey, now actually it's really good to counter trade this setup. And so it's like, yeah, you just have to adapt to the market, and remember, not everything is going to work forever. It just made me feel kind of laugh when you were saying it, but it's totally true,
Definitely.
Yeah. But anyway, we move on. I don't want to talk about this too much. So so this is obviously clearly our next big level of resistance. Obviously, this support is fairly low, but what we have to remember here is we moved up really quickly. So you have this lower the range. The thing is, long in any of this zone is very kind of high risk, low probability. It can bounce, but you have to remember you have a massive row of single prints. So the probabilities of bouncing in the middle of single prints are not high. Of course, is it possible? Yes. But is it probable? No. This is the thing. People say, is it possible we bounce off of 46,300? I will say, yeah, of course it's possible, because everything is possible, but is it probable? That's the question you need to ask. Is it probable? I don't think it's probable you bounce off the middle of single prints. Is it possible? Yeah. But is it probable? No. So this is why you have to think to yourself, am I going to long in the middle of a row of single prints? Nah, I wouldn't. Do you get a really big pullback? Maybe not.
Yeah. Less likely to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, the support is definitely lower down here, in my opinion.
Yeah. And exactly that support at 42,600 around there, in my opinion, if we actually reject from here and go all the way down there, we really need to watch that level, because losing that level, it will be a quick drop down to 39.
Yeah.
In my opinion. In my opinion, because there's going to be so many stops below those four lows down there. And it's just going to be a cascade down to, 39.3.
And that is obviously then where this harmonic can still come back into play. So this is, remember how we were saying the harmonic is no longer probable after we broke this triangle. Soon here, we're saying the harmonic is no longer probable. But should we reject up at around here and come back down, bounce maybe temporarily off this support, but ultimately lose it, bounce off the daily and lose the daily, if we start to lose 39,500, then we can say once again, this is a probable pattern. And so it's a thing of being able to recognize probabilities, when probabilities change, when the market changes. Yeah. At the moment, I'm not looking for this harmonic. But should we lose our support levels, I will look for the harmonic again, So
we're aware of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's being aware of the levels. It's being know where you want to trade, know when you don't want to trade. And literally, I think you will agree with me, both of you, patience. Once you have your ideas, don't take bad trades. Just wait for the trades you have prepared for. And if you are in a situation or a level where you haven't prepared for the trade, do not take a trade, because otherwise you're literally gambling.
I 100% agree with that. And to back that up, I have been calling for one level for a pretty long time now.
I know.
So if we do drop, I already know exactly where I'm going to trade, how I'm going to trade it, and why I'm going to trade it.
I know your level.
I know his number
You
as well.
just you just literally mentioned it.
I know. Yeah, but this is the thing. It's being aware of these levels way in ahead, like way in advance, and as soon as when the level is being hit, you know exactly what you're doing, what you're expecting, and you go in there and you just exactly. I mean, just like the 20. That's a good chart there.
Yeah, just like this epic one here. I posted this earlier today. This was from the help of the master. This one, where had the short from 63, took it down to 29k, and he literally only way I managed to long $28,000 was from our legend himself, who posted this in the champions group. This is the chart that he posted in the group, and he gave the 29,830, had that long from 20, had the short. Obviously, my short was from 63,000 to 32,000, then short from 41,000 to 28,000, and the only way that I knew about to long 28,000 was because of this post in the group. And this is the advantage of having a community where you can talk to other traders, bounce ideas off of other traders. Man, it's a massive advantage. And yeah, be patient because, man, like, yeah, some people would have forgot about this chart, I'm sure. People would have forgotten.
Yeah, I know Patrick didn't, because I remember Patrick saying, I've preset mine too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I see something that you post, I'm going to remember it because I've learned to remember. But yeah, like, yeah, it all comes down to what we're doing here is just emphasizing mark the levels, make a plan, trade the plan. At the end of the day, it's going to win or lose. At the end of the day, even if you win 100 trades, lose 100 trades, if on all of your winners you're winning $30 and all of the losers you're losing $10, well, 50-50 win rate, you're still making money. I think you can achieve greater than 50-50 win rates, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to that mindset of compounding gains. You know, a $5,000 account, give it a few years, can turn into $1 million. Definitely, we've done it, and yeah, it all comes down to being patient, compounding, and really simply making those plans and sticking to them. Knowing that obviously the most important thing, arguably, is obviously making plans and then just being patient for them. Recognizing when a resistance is broken, turning into support. Knowing when you're right, knowing where you're wrong. Yeah, the rest is down to you, really. And I think for the upside here, again, I think I already said it briefly, but if we come back above this old CC, I'm personally going to be looking for that nice push, at least to like $55,000. I'd be very, very bullish if we claim this resistance. But this is the thing. I know it's resistance at the moment. I know it's resistance. But if we are to reclaim that, yeah, I'm going to be really, really, really bullish, to be honest with you. So, at the moment, I'm pretty bullish. Obviously, I'm in an advantageous position where I had my plan from Sunday and I executed my plan, and now I'm sat in a nice long, but I also have a short from higher as well. So I'm kind of, hey, claim the CC. I'll let my long run. I'll close the short. If we reject here, I'll wait to see if we hold the next support, and if not, I'll close the long and let the short run. So obviously this is advantageous, but how am I in an advantageous position where I cannot lose? Well, it's because I had a plan and I traded the plan. And that's what we want you to get towards. That's the level that we want you to get towards. And I think everybody can do it if they put in the work.
100%.
So yeah, that is my POV. As Bitcoin is still obviously trying to break to the upside. So this is the thing. Bitcoin is looking pretty decent right now.
Yeah.
But again, you obviously are at resistance.
Yeah.
So if you are to reclaim this, hey, hunky dory.
The next, for me, the next level now is 48,400.
48,400. So
yeah,
just above the top of the CC.
Yeah, literally 48,400. And then above that, we've got 5,200. And then, it's all the way up at 57,900. So it's a big gap.
Well,
Big
I mean, the open
going
interest is crazy. We're just seeing so many people open new longs and shorts. Yeah, I've not seen the open interest go this crazy. You actually saw, I mean, just then you saw 15 million long shorts open, but instantly all pretty much stopped out,
Yeah.
which is just like, what are they doing? But I mean, yeah, it's not often actually you see the open interest going like this. Yeah, it's not.
It has been a while, I agree. It has been a very long time since it was this volatile in terms of open interest.
Yeah, it's been hovering like pretty much it went sideways for a whole month of open interest going this. And now suddenly new players are coming into the market, which is good. You know, it's very good.
They were on
But yeah,
holiday,
it's been
like
a while.
us.
It has been definitely a long time.
Yeah, they were on holiday, came back on the 1st of October. That's it. Let's go in there.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. This is really, really, really crazy. They just all got stopped out and they basically instantly short again. It's very insane.
That's pretty mental. Well, what I might do, I'll see if anybody has any questions, and then if they don't, then I think we'll start to wrap it up. No.
Yeah.
I'll see if anybody has any questions. Obviously, the mainstream tonight was to announce Igor, which was we I think everybody is basically very happy. Here we go. First comment that's come in from this guy, Tukadi DK. Thank you, Mike, Igor, Daniel, for using your Friday evening teaching us. I'm looking forward to the champion stream Sunday. CC Paul, send their regards. Yes, my friend, we will see you Sunday. Or I'll see you Sunday. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Igor is going to be doing some live streams in the group, and obviously he'll be active in Discord. So he's now a coach. So if he wants to do live streams, he can do live streams. If he's going to be in Discord, just like he was in today, being more active, helping people out, and yeah. So obviously, for us, I'm personally very happy because I want to form a team of the best traders in the world. Period. I think Igor is one of the best traders in the world. So I personally am ultra happy to have him on the team. And then obviously the members alike should be very happy because now you can interact officially with him as a coach, for expect more content from him sort of thing. Says, yeah, it's obviously brilliant.
Definitely,
so yeah.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
CC Pool, send their regards.
Yes.
So CS says, hi Daniel, I see you will soon have all the best traders in one spot. Thanks again. Yes, we will. What do you think most probable to go up or down? So at the moment, I would say that the most highest probability, I personally think that we have really good momentum to the upside. This has at the moment shown no signs of rejection. So this is the thing. It's a really good question. What do I think is the most probable, up or down? I personally would say this is my answer. We are at high term time frame resistance, and I would not long here. But I do think that there is a high probability that we go to the upside. And you might think, why do you think there's a high probability that we go to the upside if we're at resistance? And the fact is, because first of all, really simply, we have had no rejection. So that is a good reason. We have had no rejection. We have strong momentum. We have still good open interest. For me, this is not a sign for jump into a short position. I did take one short earlier off of this high. And obviously I'm out of that short now. I've already closed it. But I took one short originally off of this high right here because it was like a mini swing failure pattern. But again, I've already closed that short position. And I have not taken another one here personally yet because, well, I would like to see a little bit higher, to be honest with you. That's the primary reason I think that we can push higher. I've seen no rejection. We haven't hit the daily. We haven't hit the top of the CC. We haven't taken these highs. So yeah, I personally think right now it's a higher probability that we move up. I wouldn't long here. I want to emphasize that. And I wouldn't actually short here yet either because for the reasons just mentioned. If we do see a rejection off of here, then I'm happy to jump into a short. If we lose market structure, I'm happy to jump into a short. But at the moment, I personally have no reason to do it. So I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
and
I agree
also,
with that.
I'm becoming much more of a swing trader. So this for me is a scalping level. Like this was a scalp but I'm not taking many scalp trades recently. I'm more of a swing trader now. What do you make of DXY? Yeah, not the question to ask for random alts, really. I don't look at all these random altcoins. So yeah, I'm not going to cover it. I'm sorry. Just join contenders. Learned a lot in 2 weeks. Hey, good to read that, mate. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot more. Congratulations, Igor. I will bombard you now. Mike, Daniel, cheers for everything. CC Paul, yes, man. Well, good to hear, my friends. So yeah, have you two got any final words that you'd like to say?
From my side, it's just a very big thank you to you and everybody at Chart Champions, and that I look forward to be part of the team and yeah, start firing the questions. Happy to help. So yeah, not at the weekend though. Go kids.
Oh, cool, man. That's really good. I don't know if Mike's still there or he's like lost.
Yeah, no, I'm I'm still here. I would say never forget that the next best trade is always ahead of you.
100%. I'm into that.
Yeah, I suppose I'll end with my words of echoing this. Really, that first of all, again, absolute pleasure to have Igor on the team, and then echo Mike. Your next best trades ahead of you. I know a lot of people struggle. We have to remember, like, our environment that we're in is, we're obviously an educational group, so naturally we have a lot of beginners, and naturally a lot of beginners are gonna, some people don't like it when we talk about, hey, look, these people are getting wrecked, because they are the people getting wrecked. Nothing that we say is obviously personal to anybody, and this is just part of the process. Of course, a lot of people watching this video today probably maybe shorted this rise, maybe they longed the absolute high, maybe they got liquidated, maybe they got wrecked. It's just part of the process. Trust the process, trust in what's to come. And you just got to think to yourself, if you've got liquidated, if you've got wrecked, it's a mistake. Hopefully, a big mistake, a big learning point, maybe a turning point for your career as a trader, And yeah, I think it's just really important to remember, what a day to speak about it, like where you come from. I came from not being a good trader to being a good trader. Mike and Igor came from being bad traders to being good traders. Nobody becomes a good trader overnight. So
I was asking when I joined, is it a good time to long or short?
Well, exactly. So it's just part of the process, isn't it? Nobody is going to become a world-class trader straight away. It's like everything. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort, but the evidence is extremely clear of what is achievable. So hopefully that is used as inspiration rather than jealousy. Really, there's no reason to be jealous. There's only reason to be inspired. So I really hope that we can, put our skills to good use and, see other people achieve excellence. That would be nice. I hope you didn't get wrecked today. If you did, go back to the modules and learn. And hopefully it wasn't too affecting of you. But yeah, just remember, like Mike said, the best trade is always ahead of you. If you've had a bad day, tomorrow will be a good day. If you have had a good day, tomorrow will be even better. So yeah, that's all of us here signing out. You will see us all over in the group. If you want to see some more from us, obviously you can join the group. If not, we'll be around on public free YouTube videos from every now and then. So yeah, thanks everybody. Hope you have a brilliant weekend. And yeah, I'll see you on the Champions live stream on Sunday. So cheers everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
And goodbye.
Cheers.